Good morning and welcome everyone to the first episode of our lockdown series. Now today, or in this series, we're going to be going through all the features and functions and tips and tricks to help you out whilst we're in this transition between on-campus and off-campus learning. A number of our schools trialed this before, with blended learning environments becoming popular before 2020, but we've taken it the next step to help you guys out whilst you have a couple of students in at school and a couple of them or most of them away at home. So in this particular episode of the lockdown series, we're going to start off with how do I log into the system and how do I navigate around it. Now, it seems like bread and butter, but sometimes we need to just refresh ourselves and have a look at some of the other features that are available. Instead of just browsing to our school's URL and clicking the login, what else can we do to help our students and our teachers with logging in and getting the most out of the system? Once we've done that, we've got a whole lineup ready for you. Myself and some of the other team members here at FSI are going to be walking you through some of the other lockdown facilities that are now part of SmartSuite-Library. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a look. So all of you would know that you have a unique URL to log into your particular SmartSuite-Library or TV4Education instance. Now this would be something along the lines of the school name abbreviation or domain .functionalsolutions.com.au. Now this may be difficult for some of your users to remember, especially if you don't have the benefit of something like an intranet page that's publicly available, or those shortcuts were set up on your desktops at school, they weren't ever pushed to your BYOD devices. Now that your kids are at home, how are you going to get that message to them? Now the teachers are at home, how are you going to get that message to them? Well, what we've done is we've made logging into the system really easy, and all you need to do is browse to our website, www.functionalsolutions.com.au. If you were to go to Google and do a search for SmartSuite-Library, SmartSuite, or TV4Education, the Google results will also take you back to our page. To our public website. Now, from any of the pages from within our website, top right hand corner, you will see a login button. When you or your teachers or your students click the login button, they now have the ability to log in with their email address. So if I was to go and put my email address into the login site here, it's telling me that I am registered with one particular school. Now the benefit of this is if I have a teacher that jumps from school to school, they have a profile with a number of different schools, they can use the one URL to log into all of them. So they will see a tile for school number 1, a tile for school number 2, and a tile for school number 3. So great if you're a roaming teacher, if you're a roaming librarian that works at more than one school, if you've got ICT staff or deputies that are connected with more than one school, central login will give them one URL address that they can go to and gain access to all of the platforms. All they need to do is click on the correct school that they're wanting to log in with, enter their password, the correct password, okay, and they're into the system. It's really as easy as that. The best thing about central login is that it also integrates with all of your single sign-on systems. So if you're connected with Google single sign-on, Azure, or anything like our SmartSuite remote service utility for our schools that are in WA and some of the private schools that are using it as well, it all integrates with it. So all your users have to do is go to the website, enter in their email address, and then select the school that they're connected with. Okay, from there, all of our systems take control, and it's just as if they were logging in directly to your site. Okay, so really, really simple now. If you do have shortcuts set up, make sure that you go and reference functionalsolutions.com.au instead of the URLs that you've been used to in the past. We've found already that logins have jumped by at least 35% for schools that have implemented functionalsolutions.com.au as their URL instead of the school's URL because it is easier to remember. Now, what else can we do to make access for our teachers and our students a little bit easier? Well, obviously we can now take that URL and we can put it into an email and send that to all of our users. We've also got the ability now from within Patron Management to locate a user and click email login directly on that user, and that will send them an email with all of their login information and will point them back to central login. What we also have the facility to do now is if I go to reports, we have a new category of reports under the FSI reports called welcome letters. Okay, now within welcome letters, you can now isolate new staff members and you can send a letter to all of those users. If you're wanting to just send an email directly to all of the teachers, not just your new ones, you can choose the bulk email list. Okay, once you do that, it's telling me here that I want to select all the users that have a user role of teacher, generate that report, and once that report gets built, I'll have the ability to send a welcome letter or a reminder email to all of my teachers saying, this is the username, this is the URL, which is functionalsolutions.com.au, and you can log in here. Okay, if you wanted to go ahead and modify that particular template, just like a standard report, you go into configure, and you've got the facility to update the wording, to change some of the icons, and you can add extra information into it as well. So we're always here to make it easier for you. If you are happy with that email, click on email down the bottom, make sure that you set up your subject the way that you want it to appear and your reply to addresses, and then you can click send now, and that will go off to every single teacher. If you want to send that to students as well, obviously, just need to change that user role, regenerate it, and you can send it to your entire student body as well, so that whilst they're at home, they know how to log into the system. Okay, so we've got the facility now to go to functionalsolutions.com.au and click login. We also now have the ability to go to our reports and to send users welcome letters. And they have been set up specifically from our customer service team members for you to basically just click a button and have that information sent out to all your users. But what if we do have a couple of our students on site and we really want to take advantage of what the current climate has conditioned us all to do, and that is to sign in using our smart devices. We know through all of our research so far that if we can get information directly to personal devices like mobile phones and tablets, that the system takes a 45% increase in usage just because the information is accessible from the user's personal devices. So how do we get your library system or your TV4Education system onto our student devices, our teacher devices, or our BYOD devices? Well, it's actually a lot easier than you think. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go ahead and create a QR code. And the way that we do that is by going to Google and typing into Google free QR code generator. Now, QR codes were a bit of a taboo. Obviously now with COVID, everybody knows what a QR code is. Now you can select any QR code generator that you want. I'm just going to select this one here. Okay, and it says to you, what URL do you want to enter for me to create a QR code for? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to functionalsolutions.com.au and I'm going to click the login button. And I'm going to make sure that the screen that I'm looking at here, which is just the email field, is where I'm going to send my users. I'm then going to take that URL, copy it, and I'm going to paste it into the URL field here and click create. Now that's gone and created a QR code for me. Now from here I can download that QR code, and now what I want to do is I want to make a poster, or I want to make a sign-in sheet just like our sign-in sheets that we use for COVID all around the globe at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to open up a Word document. Okay, I've got my school logo at the top. I've got a little bit of text, scan to access all of the library's resources from your smart device. Okay, something that's going to hook them in. If you want to, if you're a TV4Education only user, you might say scan. Sorry, we ran into a bit of technical difficulty there. So what I was saying is that when we've created these posters, I've had a couple of librarians create multiple copies, and instead of just sticking it on the front door of the library, they've actually gone and stuck it all around the school. They've stuck it on doors to buildings, they've stuck it in hallways, they've stuck it on the table in the administration office, so that no matter where their clients are, they've got access to sign in from their smart device to any, to your library software. Okay, so when you create that and you print that and you laminate that and stick it off, what does that look like in terms of how the clients are going to access the library? Well, let's say that we've created this and we've printed it and we've stuck it on the wall. Let's have a look now as to how we can go about and see what the clients are going to do. So I'm going to flick over here to my iPad. Okay, so you can see that I've got my iPad here, and I'm going to change it to the camera. And like we all know, all of the smart devices now, they have a QR code reader built into the camera on our iPad. So here's my poster. Okay, and you can see that as soon as I hover over the poster here, I'm getting a notification at the top that's saying, do I want to open this URL?
OPPO find X3
so I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And as soon as I do that, it takes me directly to the website, the central login system. So I'm going to enter in my email address. Okay, and the system has brought up for me which sites that I'm connected with. So I'm going to go ahead and select that site. And I'm going to put in my password. Okay, and I'm in. I'm now on my personal device, and I can now navigate through all of the resources that are available through the library. And if I'm a teacher, I've also got the ability to go directly to TV4Education and have a look and start sharing movies directly from my personal device. So sharing the information with our clients doesn't have to be a difficult task, especially now that we've introduced all these brand new facilities, making it easier for you to get your system out to your clientele. Number one is the new functionalsolutions.com.au central login system. Make sure that you share that URL with all of your clients. The next thing is the welcome letters. Go to reports and have a look at what reports are available for you to just click one button and flick that out to all of your teachers or your students. The third thing that you have available to you is those QR codes. As I said, we've all been conditioned over the last almost 2 years on signing in with QR codes. Adapt that into your library and make it really easy for your clients to basically do the same thing, scan the QR code and access digital resources for learning from what you're investing in to your resource management system. So I hope you've got a lot out of the session today. As I said, we are going to be running another 7 episodes of the lockdown series on just making sure that the resources that you're investing into are going to be used the best and most effective way by you to help your students at home and to help your teachers deliver that information to home as well. So make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and you also hit the bell so that you see when these events are going to be planned. Okay, my name is Quinton. I hope that you've had a great time and we'll catch you later. Thanks very much.